Welcome back to the channel, guys. POV and me. Today we're going to be learning how to drive a manual stick shift standard vehicle. Whatever you want to call it, it's all the same. Let's learn.
All right, Crass.
First things first, when you get into the vehicle, you'll notice two very different things than an automatic vehicle. You'll notice here you have your stick shift, and down here you have three paddles. I'll show you exactly what those are for in just a second. First, your stick shift. If the knob is stock from factory, you'll see it has numbers on it. That indicates what gear you're in. Usually, it's a 5-speed. You can have 6-speed, or if you're in a very sporty car, you can have 7 speeds, such as the C7 Corvette. I also think the Porsche 911 has a 7-speed as well. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. Then down here, you have your pedals. You have your clutch. You have your brake, and you have your gas pedal. What your clutch is for is to engage and disengage your transmission from the engine. Your brake stops the vehicle. And your gas, well, it's the go-go power to propel you forward. Now, in a manual vehicle, this is very important. In an automatic, you really don't worry about it all too much. You should, but you don't have to. But in a manual vehicle, it is very, very important. This is what you use to park the vehicle. You could park it in gear, but that could hurt your transmission over time. This parks the vehicle. This should not. Now, starting the vehicle. It is very, very important. In most US vehicles, most any vehicle, unless you have an old Japanese car, you must depress the clutch pedal in order to start the vehicle. If you don't, guess what? Nothing happens. Unless you push that pedal down there. 9 times out of 10, nothing will happen in this car unless you use that pedal on the left. Even if you try and put the car in gear without that pedal, it's not going to go anywhere. You need that pedal. So, always remember, your clutch pedal is your best friend in a manual vehicle. And it always has to be pushed to the floor whenever you're doing anything. Has to go to the floor. If you're going in gear, has to be to the floor. All right? Okay. Now we're going to go over the gears. Your first gear is what helps you take off from a dead stop. Your second gear is kind of what you'd use to get around nice and slow, 20, 30, 40 miles an hour.
Whoa, brother, whoa. Now, you got too much dip on your chip.
Well, 40 is a little high for second gear. Third gear is what you'd use for about 40 to 50 miles an hour. Fourth gear, 50. Fifth gear is your overdrive gear. And that's what you use on the highway. Never, ever force a vehicle into gear. If it can't go in with toddler strength, like that, then you're doing something wrong. Your vehicle should be able to go into gear with no effort at all, okay? If you have to use actual force to get your car into gear, there is something wrong. And you are damaging something by forcing it in. So keep that in mind. Make sure you can just put it in with just one finger.
That's what she said.
Now, in order to get started, remember I said you park the vehicle with the parking brake? That has to go down, okay? Don't forget, if you're not on a level surface, your foot should be on the brake pedal so you don't roll into anything. But if you're on a level surface, you don't have to worry about the brake pedal. I'm on a level surface now so that we can start. I'm going to show you how to get this car rolling without even using the gas pedal. A lot of people try and learn the balance with the gas pedal and the clutch pedal all at once in the first try. It's very hard to learn that way. So I'm going to show you how to do it without the gas pedal. Turn off the air there. So first, I'm going to open the door so that you can see when I'm moving and when I'm not moving. All right, so first, you're gonna push the clutch all the way down here, okay? Gonna put the vehicle in first. And you're gonna slowly release the clutch until you feel that biting point. And now we're rolling. All right, I'm gonna do that again. You're gonna slowly release the clutch until you get to your biting point. That is my biting point. That is the point where the vehicle wants to start moving. Now, a lot of people get excited when the car starts moving and then they just pop off the clutch because they think they're ready to go. But that's wrong. The car has to reach a certain speed before you can completely let off the clutch. And that speed is usually about 3 to 5 miles an hour for most vehicles. If you're not doing at least 3 miles an hour, the car will stall or it would have a very, very jerky start. And that is what you want to eliminate. And I'll show you what that looks like. So, I'll put it in first. I'll get the car moving. And now that we're rolling here, see we're rolling? I'll drop the clutch. And you see, that just shut the car off completely. That is not what you want to do. So in order to eliminate that, what you'd want to do is you'd want to slip the clutch a little bit longer. And what I mean by slipping the clutch is by staying on that clutch in that biting point for just a little bit longer until you reach that 3 to 5 mile an hour speed zone there. So I'll do that here for you. Put it in first gear. First gear is over towards you and up. Get off the brake pedal here, and I'll get to my biting point. That is my biting point. We're now slowly starting to roll. Now, this is not a digital speedometer, but I can tell I'm doing 3 miles an hour because the needle moved above the 0. Now, we are safe to release the clutch pedal fully. I am not on the clutch. I did not use the gas pedal at all, and you can see we're moving very smoothly and nicely. And I'll do that again for you. All right, so we're back on level ground. We're not moving. Feet's not on the brake, and the parking brake's not up. I'm gonna put the car in first gear, clutch down, over to me, and up. And I will slowly release the clutch until we slowly start to move. As you can see, we're moving now, very, very slowly. I'm still on the clutch because I'm not reaching that 3 mile an hour zone there. Now that we're at 3 miles an hour, my foot can come off the clutch. And we're moving nice and slow. I can't stress this enough. You need to at least be doing 3 to 5 miles an hour before you get your foot off the clutch, or you will stall or have a very, very jerky start, and you don't want that. So now, I'm going to teach you how to take off a lot faster, because if you're at a stoplight and you have people behind you, obviously you don't want to be taking off that slow. So that's where the gas pedal will come into play. So in an automatic vehicle, you kind of just ignore this gauge over here. This is your RPM, also known as your revolutions per minute. What you'd want to do is you'd want to keep that needle above 1,000. So about right there is where you want to keep it. You want to keep it below 2,000. So anything in this rev range right here, above 1,000, below 2,000. All right. So now if we wanted to take off, what you'd want to do, clutch all the way to the floor, first gear, and you'd want to get it all up, get your RPMs up above 1,000, and you want to slowly release the clutch like we did before, get it to the biting point, but you'd want to fight to keep the RPMs above 1,000. Get to the 5 miles an hour and release the clutch. So I'm going to show you what that looks like all in one piece now, okay?
Okay, then what?
So I'm here, I'm in neutral, which means I don't have to have my foot on the clutch. If I'm at a stoplight and I want to start moving, clutch first, put it in first, release the brake pedal, get the RPMs up above 1,000, and I want to slowly start releasing the clutch until I get to 3 to 5 miles an hour. Then I can release my foot fully off the clutch so that we can start moving. Now, once you're at that 3 to 5 mile an hour zone, you can completely let your foot off the clutch. You don't have to have your foot on it. You don't have to be resting there, because that'll actually damage the clutch. What you want to do is you want to put your left foot on that dead pedal that's there. You don't want to have your foot anywhere on this clutch after 3 to 5 miles an hour. Now I'm going to show you how to shift. Shifting is very easy, and it's just like first gear, but you're doing it a lot faster because you'll already be moving. If you're moving, you shouldn't be stalling. But what you're trying to do is eliminate the jerkiness. So I'm going to take off again, clutch all the way down, first gear, get above 1,000 RPMs, and slowly release the clutch. Stay above 1,000 until you're above 3 miles an hour, then you can release the clutch. Second gear, what you'd want to do is you'd let off the gas, put the clutch all the way to the floor, pull the stick back towards you, and slowly release the clutch, but not as slow as when you take off. What I mean by slowly release the clutch, it doesn't mean you go very, very, very slow, but you also don't want to pop off the clutch because then that'll give you a jerky transition. So here, I'll show you a first to second gear transition. So we're at a stoplight, first gear, get moving, off the clutch, clutch, second, and that is how you shift to second gear. And third is the same, but you'd be releasing the clutch a lot faster, like that. And each gear that you go to, you're releasing the clutch faster and faster and faster. In fifth gear, you're basically just dropping the clutch. You should not feel much jerking going from fourth to fifth gear. So from fourth to fifth, you can pretty much just drop the clutch. And I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so now we're in fourth gear. We'll go to fifth. And you can see I basically just dropped the clutch and nothing really, you don't feel anything. Obviously, you're not gonna stall. All right, so now I'm gonna show you how to reverse. Reversing is a little different because you kind of have to ride your clutch. And what I mean by that is you should never, unless you really have a very open, wide area, you should never be completely off the clutch in reverse. Because at that point, you're doing a little bit too fast of a speed to control. So I'm going to demonstrate reversing into this parking spot right there. Okay. Now, all the steps are the same. Clutch all the way down. Reverse is going to be to the passenger and down in this specific car. All cars are different. Some will be towards you and up. Some will be pushed down and over towards you and down, or it could be down over to the passenger and up. It could be anywhere in most different cars. You just refer to your shift knob here, and it'll tell you exactly where reverse is. And that is that little R right there. So we're gonna go passenger and down. And we're just gonna slowly get to that biting point. We're at the biting point now, but we're on a slight incline. So we have to give a little bit of gas. So above 1,000. So now we're slowly going backwards. Now I'm gonna get into this parking spot here, and you can see I'm still on the clutch. I have not let go of it yet. And we're just backing slowly, and we're just balancing the clutch. If we feel like we're going a little too fast, then we push the clutch back down to the floor to slow the car down. You can see we stopped, but we're on an incline, so we're sliding. We're slowly rolling a little forward. But we're gonna slowly get back to that biting point. That's the biting point right there. You can hear the RPMs drop when I do that. Okay? Because that's the biting point. That's where we start getting a little bit of power from the car to reverse. All right, so now we're still reversing into this parking spot here, keeping the RPMs above 1,000. All right, and now we are successfully in the parking spot. so we can put the car in neutral and pull the e-brake. And you are fully parked. You can release the clutch pedal, release the brake pedal, and you've now backed into a parking spot. So those are the basics on how to drive a manual. There are tons more to learn, but if you just want to get from point A to point B, it is really that simple. There's not much to it. Don't overthink it. Just remember, the clutch is your best friend in this car. If you feel like you're doing something wrong, just push that clutch pedal back to the floor. It'll avoid stalling. It'll avoid a lot of harmful damage that could be done to the car. If it feels wrong, it's probably wrong. Clutch down, and all is good. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.